Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, welcome back to another video. This is 2 weeks later from our previous video. We have done our homework, right, Marvin?
Done our homework.
Right there. We've done our homework. We've re-listened to almost all of Kanye West music, and we are here today to talk about Kanye West, talk about his music, talk about his albums, and we're gonna share our opinions and how we feel on them, aren't we, Marvin?
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna dive in right away and start talk about not just the rankings, but we're gonna talk about the best opening songs, in our opinion, of the Kanye West.
And that's how we're gonna open this video. We're gonna talk about the best opening songs from all the albums. So, Marvin, do you want to start it off? What do you have there?
Hold on. We need to pause, I think.
Okay.
I think we have to put like a disclaimer here saying how all these rankings have changed throughout our Kanye fandom or whatever.
Yes, this is like the fine print. I'm going to put it across the screen right here, you know?
Yeah, we'll put the date, fresh date, because I gotta say for myself, my favorite songs have changed throughout the years. New albums come, but you know, old songs stick around. Yeah,
Kanye, he's just like one of those artists that he releases such a diverse body of work, and again, he's been doing this for so long now. So much of our lives, he's had such an influence in our lives growing up.
That's why we need this disclaimer, because in the past our ranking would be different, and I'm sure in the future our rankings may be different.
I agree. All right, shall we get into this, Marvin?
All right, so let's get into our favorite opening songs off a Kanye West album.
All right,
so I'm gonna give an honorable mention, if I can, to a couple songs.
Well, before we even like straight up say the names of the songs, I just want to say like he opens his albums really strong. There's a lot of good tracks here. This was almost impossible to choose for us. That's kind of like another little disclaimer that we have in all our rankings and all our favorites and all our least favorites. Marvin and I, we have debated inside our own heads. We've debated with each other.
We're splitting hairs on a lot of these.
Yeah, we're splitting hairs. This was such a hard choice, such a hard decision to come to, but for you, for the viewers, for your entertainment. And
if I can say anything more, is that these songs throughout the rankings are going to probably be the favorites that resonate with us. You know, we're not trying to
influence the viewers at home. If you guys have different opinions, that's completely fine. We're not going to hate you. Feel free to share your opinions right there below in that comment box.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what I love. I love seeing everyone's different opinions as well. All right, so starting off, honorable mentions to these two. Can I do two songs?
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right, honorable mentions
We can do whatever we want. This is our channel, bro.
We are in control. So, two honorable mentions I like to mention is No Church in the Wild from Watch Your Throne.
Yes.
And the second honorable mention is On Sight from Yeezus. My favorite intro from Kanye West, first song of an album, is Good Morning from Graduation. You know, just something, just as soon as you play it, it just feels like an intro because with the slow start. And of course he's saying good morning, you know, and waking up to a beautiful masterpiece, beautiful music, or, you know, Good Morning being my favorite opening song from
I think
Kanye
even
West.
Like without the words Good Morning, just hearing the song, hearing the instrumental, hearing the production itself, it sounds like you're waking up for the day, you know, you're starting your day, you're starting your graduation, you're starting something new, you know, it's just a very introductory sounding song in general, and then he adds the words like good morning to it and wake up Mr. West and all this stuff. You know?
Okay.
I respect that choice, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah.
But again, that's why we're here, you know.
That's
not hating on Good Morning at all, not hating on any of
Yeah.
Marvin's choices, not hating on any choices.
Yeah, those were just my choices. Now I'm definitely curious, because I haven't heard them yet, curious to hear your choices for this topic.
He hasn't heard any of this. We're saving all of our content for you viewers at home, you know?
In a way, this is live to my ears.
Exactly. All right, so I got some honorable mentions as well. Of course,
All right, go for it.
On Sight, like you said.
Okay.
We were just listening to that in the car on the way here, and we were talking about just throwing away our whole rankings, you know, just hearing that song. I don't know what to say, you know, it's so good, just the way it starts Yeezus, it starts that album, it sets the mood. Man, all of these songs set the mood really well on all these albums. So definitely honorable mention to On Sight. I also have honorable mention to Ultralight Beam from Life of Pablo.
Beautiful one, yeah.
That one.
Yeah, that one is good because it definitely steered his career in a different direction, just coming in with more the gospel sounds. And
It had the gospel sound. It just had the gospel choir in the back. had such like minimalistic production to it that I really liked, and also the Chance feature on that.
Yeah, Chance the Rapper's on that too. Yeah, the verse
feature, he killed that, man.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite verses from him of that year for sure. Right. Yeah.
So today we're talking about Kanye West, and of course that is why I came equipped, I came well dressed with my St. Pablo shirt.
Gotta check out the threads here.
Check out the back as well.
Yeah, check it out.
Shout out to St. Pablo. Shout out Kanye West. I was really looking forward to him performing this song at the St. Pablo tour a couple years ago. And you know what? I had such high expectations for it because I really love this song so much. And he met those expectations on that performance, you know? I honestly, I don't want to say that I cried, but I got like emotional, you know? I got like emotional during that performance because it was so good. I was looking forward to it, and again, he just like met all the expectations that I had.
Yeah, well, he really captured that moment.
It was on that tour where he had like the floating stage, like you know.
Yeah. It seemed so beautiful, and of course, Kanye with being the performer he is, does not let up with something like that. Yeah, floating stage. Floating
stage, exactly. Okay, so that was Ultralight Beam. That's not even my favorite. That was just an honorable mention. Yeah, like, you know, that's how much we loved the music. Also, honorable mention to Feel the Love from Kids See Ghosts.
Yeah, okay.
That one you got a killer Pusha T verse. And you got the killer Kanye verse. You have no idea what he's saying. He's just making these like random ass noises.
Yeah.
But he makes it work, man. You know.
Yeah.
I know the weird sounds that he's saying like off the top of my head. Every time that song plays on, he's not saying words. He's not saying anything coherent. He's just random noises. But like I love that shit. You know.
He somehow makes it work. Yeah. Only Kanye could do.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, sure.
All right, and now over to my actual choice for best opener, for favorite opener.
Best opener.
You ready for this? Drum roll. This song, it's kind of a spoiler alert, you know?
All right.
This is not only my favorite opener from any of Kanye's albums. I think it's safe to say that this is, you ready for this?
Ooh.
This is my favorite Kanye West song.
Whoa!
Of all time.
Of all time.
Across all the albums, across all releases, across all features, across anything that he's released ever in his career.
Wow.
This is one of my favorite songs, if not the favorite Kanye West song. And the song that I'm talking about is Heard Him Say.
Say that again?
Yeah, you said that. Like, you clapped up. I don't think the viewers heard that. But the song that I'm talking about is Heard Him Say.
Heard Him Say.
Heard Him Say from Late Registration. I know it's technically not the very first one on the album because they have like an intro skit.
Okay.
But that's the first like song on that album.
That is an absolutely great choice because although that's not my favorite Kanye song, I would have put that underneath most underrated songs because
you got like the beautiful piano on that. You got the dude from Maroon 5, was named Adam Levine.
Yeah,
you got him singing. Got Kanye's verses. You got that weird music video where it's like he's like a drawing or like a piece of paper or whatever it is. I don't know. It was a long time ago when I first saw that.
Yeah.
I was maybe in like grade 5 or grade 6 or something.
Yeah. It's all sonically like sounding beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was hooked ever since that. You know, that was the song that made me like the huge Kanye West fan that I am today. Again, huge Kanye West fan.
Wow.
That I am today.
Well, great pick, man. Okay, so after hearing our openers, do you want to move on to ranking the albums?
Let's do it. That's why you guys are watching this video, right? You guys want to find out our favorite Kanye West albums.
That's right.
So let's get into it. All right, Marvin, let's start at number 11. What do you got?
Number 11.
Yeah, we're going to count top and down. So starting at 11, Marvin's choice for Kanye's ranking.
You can probably say least favorite, right?
So we can say least favorite for mine, least favorite for yours, but again, we're not saying that these albums are bad whatsoever, unless you think they're bad. I don't think any of them are bad, but least favorite for sure. They all have a special place in my heart, but of course there's some favorites, and that's what we're here to talk about today.
Right. So number 11 on my list is Ye.
Ye.
And Ye is my least favorite album because when you have so many good albums, it's hard to put any down, but I gotta say, Ye, probably, I could straight up say I didn't like Ye. I could probably straight up say I didn't like it because I don't know if it was the timing of it, but you know, I would say like his ad-libs in it is my least favorite.
Okay.
I would say the features on it might be my least favorite. You know, not to take anything away from Ye, but if I'm gonna rank it somewhere, I have to put it at the bottom. You know, this track is number 11 because I've listened to so many Kanye West albums over time on repeat multiple times, but I would say this is the album I probably listened to the least.
Okay.
Least repeats, but
It had the least like replay value for you.
Had the least replay value for me, right? But my favorite song from Ye would have to be Yikes. Just being the more of a consistent Kanye sound that I'm used to. Maybe that's what appealed to me, but I just didn't enjoy all his ad-libs and other tracks. And so Yikes, I would have to be the one that stands out to me, being the one that that lyrically and even with the beat keeps me on board with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, number 11 on my list of favorite Kanye West albums. I'm sure it's not a surprise to a lot of you watching at home, but my least favorite would be his most recent release, Jesus is King. Now, there was a lot of hate with this album, and don't get me wrong, I didn't hate it. I actually did really like it. It had a lot of replay value for me. But when you're comparing that album to the other 10 albums that came out before it, you know, and all his comparing that album to all the 10 albums that came out before it and his entire body of work, for me it just didn't stick as much. It just didn't stand out as much as everything else did. So that is why it's the last on my list. But the one song that did stick with me though was the song God Is. Now that one was more of a singy ballady type song, a slow song, and in general I like those types of songs, and hearing Kanye's like raspy singing, hearing his vulnerability in his voice while singing on that song, that's kind of what I really liked about it.
Okay, nice, man.
As much as I love Chick-fil-A.
Sunday, right?
Close on Sunday. As much as I love that song and all the other great lyrics on the album, my standout for Jesus is King would have to be God Is.
Okay, yeah,
all right.
Fair enough, man.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Take it away, Marvin.
All right, we're down to counting on just two hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 10, following up what you were leading up to, or what you just mentioned, Jesus is King. His newest release, and this is also one of the ones that I would have to say just got the least replay value. And when I was comparing it to Ye and this as my rankings, I went back and kind of just saw what value I could get from this, because like Ye, I became a very critical Kanye fan during these years, right?
Right.
Just because my expectations for him are so high, you know, I'm totally cool with him doing whatever he wants to do. But if I'm gonna talk about my own taste in music, you know, this didn't follow up with me as much as other Kanye albums would, because, you know, it's different, which is all good, but it might just be not my style, you know, introducing gospel sounds into it. You know, you always know he's a religious kind of feeling with his past material.
Even all the way back to Jesus Walks, right?
All the way back to College Dropout, his first album. So, you know, that's nothing new, but I would say this album I could take away more lyrics from Ye, more lyrics than Ye, and I would say, you know, he has his own message and following that he's gonna pursue, which I'm like totally into seeing what he's gonna do with that. And but I would say, yeah, this is number 10 for me for all those good reasons.
Okay. And then what was your favorite song?
My favorite song is Follow God.
Okay.
You know, because I would say it does feel like one of the more familiar Kanye West sounding songs to the album, right? And if I'm going back to listen to what I know, I would have to say I'd go right to Follow God.
Good.
Not being too critical on this album,
no.
right? Yeah,
I mean, like, we should be critical, you know?
Right.
We're trying not to be complete Kanye West stands on this and, like, love every single thing he does, you know? We're here to talk about the music, the good, the bad, the flaws, everything, you know?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, he has low points.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like, compared to other artists and compared to other music that's being released, his low points are, like, still pretty good.
Yeah.
But the high points, though... Like, it's not even on the screen, you know? You can't even see it.
Past the stars.
Yeah, sure, exactly. Yeah. So, number 10 on my list, we actually have the collaboration album with Jay-Z, Watch the Throne.
Okay. Watch the Throne.
Watch the Throne, yeah.
Gold-plated album.
The gold-plated album, which had the hits like Otis and Paris as well. And those are really good songs.
Yeah.
But I didn't really like Watch the Throne as an album, like top to bottom as a whole cohesive body of work. Of course, there were the standouts, but I just wasn't feeling it as a whole, and that's why I have it ranked all the way down here. But again, there are still highlights, there are still standouts, and for me, that highlight is actually Made in America. It was either between that or No Church in the Wild, and that is simply because of the amazing and smooth and delicate Frank Ocean vocals that are on those songs. I find that they contrast really well with Kanye's and Jay-Z's like braggadocious, aggressive kind of rapping on those songs. And it's really good. It's really good juxtaposition, we'll say, that really makes those songs some of my favorites on the album.
We can move on to number 9.
Move on to put 4 up. Number 9.
Number 9 now. Almost hurts. It almost hurts.
It's already hurting me, man.
Yeah, it's already hurt. All right.
We're only 2 albums in and it hurts already.
All right, number 9. My number 9 is The Life of Pablo. And this is a great album, which is why it's so hard to put at number 9. I feel like now that I've gotten Ye and Jesus is King off my back, I'm back into the ultra fan zone, maybe, because it's like album after album that I'm enjoying and everything. So number 9 is The Life of Pablo, and
it only gets harder from here, man.
Yeah, I can only say good things from here on out, because Life of Pablo, I enjoyed it when it got released. I enjoyed it after it got released, and I'm enjoying it now to this day today. And my favorite song from that album is the one with Kendrick Lamar as a feature, No Parties in LA.
No More Parties in LA.
No More Parties in LA, yeah. I think the story just feels like you're in LA.
Right.
You are already in LA.
It kind of feels like you're in LA, you're cruising in a car, it's like it's the sunset.
Yeah.
And you just hear
you just hear kind of Kanye spewing a bunch of No More Parties in LA, and makes you feel like, you know, he's going through this part of his life where maybe he is done with the parties and trying to that's the album that introduces Ultralight Beam and introduces the whole gospel side of things. So you can totally see his world changing as well. And also Kendrick Lamar absolutely, I feel like, destroyed that song as well.
To
and
me,
puts
like,
it over the top.
That whole song, it just feels like a flamethrower, you know? Like from the top, from the production of it, from like that first guitar riff that you hear, from that first guitar twang or whatever you want to call it. From all of Kanye's verses to that Kendrick feature, it's like non-stop. It keeps coming at you from top to bottom. That song is like almost 6 minutes long, but I could listen to 6 minutes of that all day, you know? Right.
But yeah, favorite song, No More Parties in LA, featuring Kendrick Lamar.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
The Life of Pablo. And it's interesting with that album, like when he first released it, he kind of did it kind of like how a video game comes out and they have patches and patch notes every, like for the first month, for the first 2 months that game comes out.
Yeah.
It was the same with that album. You know, he released it, and then he kind of took it down, and then he put it back up on streaming services, and he had some changes. That was the album with the famous tweet. Maybe we can insert that in here. I'ma fix Wolves. That's where that came from, because he worked on Wolves after the album was already released. You know, the album was out for everybody to consume and hear, but he was still working on it. He was still being the perfectionist that he is, you know?
I think that Wolves track even changed a couple of times too, right?
Yeah, you're right,
Having a feature and not having a feature, was it?
It changed. It originally had Frank Ocean on it. It had Vic Mensa on it. I think it had Sia on it as well. And then he changed it to give Frank his own track called Frank's Track. Yeah. Even though it was pretty much like the same song, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like he was working on it as it goes, and then you know, it was at a time where even I think Kanye was admitting that he was going back into the lab, getting people back into his studio, you know, opening himself back up to people, and you can kind of see the collaboration of sounds that came together with that.
And after a while, he even like added a new song to that album, right? That was Saint Pablo. Saint Pablo. You know, that wasn't with the album when it first came out. That was something he added much later on, you know?
Yeah. So number 9 for you.
Number 9, moving on for me, we actually have 808s and Heartbreak. Boom. Yeah, we touched on this in the previous video, where there are artists today like Travis Scott, like Lil Uzi Vert. These guys love 808s, and they base their entire sound off what Kanye did in this album. And again, don't get me wrong, I love this album. How do I say this? I have a newfound appreciation for this album. It was always kind of like a wintertime album for me. I didn't really connect with it as much. But again, recently I went through something. I got a newfound appreciation for this album. Kanye himself was like going through a lot in his life when he made and released this album.
Right.
And his emotion and his vulnerability definitely came across on this album, and it translated to the listeners here.
Was this when his mother passed away?
I was when his mother passed away.
Yeah.
And then also I believe he like, what happened? I don't know if he got divorced or if he broke up
He
with
was
like his partner at the time.
Right.
But he had like a split with that. Yeah, he was getting out of a relationship, and yeah, like Marvin said, his mother also just died, so he was also in like kind of a dark, moody place, I guess we'll say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, that translated to the album.
For sure. Like, I'm sure if you ask Kanye, he might even mention this as one of the darkest moments in his life because of that separation and that death, you know. But he still put music together, and he tried to translate into his music. Yeah.
Okay, and I say my favorite track from this album would have to be RoboCop.
Nice. Okay.
RoboCop. On that track, when I first read the title of it, I was like, okay, what is he gonna sing about? What is he gonna rap about? Why is it called RoboCop? You know? Like, I didn't have the best expectations of the song. I was expecting it to be something kind of like goofy and not serious.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But then I heard it, and like the production on that song, first of all, that was one of the things that stood out to me right away. The production on it, Kanye is singing on it, and kind of like the message of his partner, his new partner, someone in his life kind of always watching his every move and being that RoboCop. It made sense to me afterwards, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely an influential album. This is like where he probably has the most singing on any one of his albums, probably. Right?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of singing on this album, both like with his normal voice and like an auto-tune voice as well. He uses, I think this is one of the first albums where he really starts to use his voice as an instrument instead of like a voice just to like say words or something. You know, this is something that's comparable to a guitar or the drums or the saxophone or a trumpet or whatever, you know? All right, shall we move on?
Well, we can move on
to number
8. And I feel like I'm snowballing behind you because I'm ranking 808s and Heartbreak
at number 8.
At number 8. And yeah, just to follow up any thoughts that you were saying, has that cold, misty feeling, isolation feeling. I feel like a lot of song titles are pretty accurate to what the mood of the song can be, you know, from Paranoid, Streetlights, Coldest Winter.
Oh, man, Streetlights, such a beautiful song.
Such a beautiful song, and that's why I still enjoy this album so much, you know, even though sometimes you have to be in the right mood to listen to this album. You know, when you put it on, I feel like it captures that mood so well. So my favorite song from 808s and Heartbreak is Coldest Winter because it just puts me back into you know, a time and a place, and you know, it's when this song really resonated with me, and so for that, it's just always stuck with me. I always remember Coldest Winter.
Okay.
Shout out to Streetlights because that still is
shout out to Streetlights.
Very very good song. Very good song.
Moving on to number 8 on my list, we actually have the one that Marvin, I think you ranked last, right? We have Ye.
We have Ye.
We have Ye for number 8 on my list, and honestly, a few things that I do like about this album is that it's pretty short. It's very consumable. I really liked the first track on it. I thought about killing you. Yeah. It was kind of weird, you know. To be honest, it was kind of weird. But I really like the story that he was telling on that, and just the narration to start off the album.
Yeah. Okay.
But honestly, all I gotta say about Ye and why I'm ranking it this high.
Okay.
Ghost Town.
Right. Okay.
Ghost Town. Ghost Town. Ghost Town. That's like the song that I chose to be my favorite from the album, and I think it's safe to say that this is probably one of my top 5 Kanye songs of all time, you know? This one track, I listened to the album over and over specifically for this track. Of course I would have this track on repeat, but having the album come with it, you know, it's kind of like kind of like a chicken nugget deal, you know? You got like the one really good nugget,
okay,
but then you got the rest of them surrounding, but...
I've never heard of the chicken nugget metaphor, because usually I love all those
Me
nuggets.
neither, I know, you're right.
Okay.
Ghost
Town being that best chicken nugget.
Ghost Town being that best chicken nugget, the one that's like the most crispy.
Yeah, okay.
The one that's the freshest, you know?
Okay, yeah.
I don't know, man. This song is just so good. Everything about it, from the sample that he has in there, to Kid Cudi in there, to that like arena shaking, that climactic chorus at the end by 070 Shake, the one that she sings over and over. Everything from this song, I just love.
It almost has that same Kids See a Ghost feel, but yeah, it's definitely a good track.
I think, I agree. It could have been on Kids See Ghost, but I think that they purposely put it on Ye, because this was during the time where Kanye released like 5 different albums week after week after week after week. There was like the Pusha T album, and then there was like a Tiana Taylor album, there was his album. There was a bunch of different albums.
Remember that time, actually. I actually loved a lot of those albums that came out at the time, and then
shout out Pusha T, shout out Tiana Taylor, Daytona, and Keep That Same Energy.
Yeah,
those 2 albums are...
It was funny that...
there was also a Nas album that summer.
There was also a Nas album produced by Kanye, it's funny that, like, for me, Kanye had the least out of those other albums. I thought he produced those other albums brilliantly.
Right.
And I feel like for the year...
he kind of, like, fell off on his own album,
off on his own album and everything. A little side note, if you'd want to hear it...
go for it.
The reason why Kanye was releasing all those albums during that month, have you thought of like why he decided to do that?
No.
So apparently he was trying to take down Drake.
Okay.
Drake came out with, I think, Scorpion.
Okay.
That year. And so
right.
It's like this conspiracy theory that Kanye wanted to shake down Drake.
I might have heard something like this, actually.
Right. Yeah. Because there was this whole falling out between Drake and Kanye too. Yeah. They were supposed to collab on an album, and then they got into a feud. Then I heard it from Drake himself. I was on.
You know Drake personally. He told you this.
He told me personally. He's my boy. You know, I went up to Bridal Path, and
come to one of our videos. You can sit right here in the middle.
No, but on a real note, I saw him talk about it on LeBron's barbershop show or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
And so even Drake specifically said he was motivated by Kanye, and he ended up finishing his album, and some of his best songs came from sort of that inspiration feud. Yeah. And so the idea of Kanye was trying to take him down because he was dropping all these albums all around the same release date as Drake.
And I mean, we can have this conversation for another video, Drake versus Kanye.
Sure.
So we'll save it for that. I think that could be an interesting video. We'll see. Viewers, leave in the comments below. Who do you like? You like Kanye or you like Drake? All right, so my number 8 was Ye, and my number 7. Now this might piss off a lot of you guys watching. This might piss Marvin off over here.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Where is it? What album is this?
Number 7.
Yeah.
In the Kanye West discography ranking is actually the College Dropout. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I love this album. I love all these albums. I've listened to College Dropout, top to bottom, so many times. You know, this has some of like my favorite skits. Yeah. Some of my favorite album skits of all time. Yeah. But I just don't like connect with it. You know, it just doesn't resonate a lot with me, or it doesn't resonate enough compared to like the other albums. This album has We Don't Care. It has All Falls Down. It has so many good tracks, but still, I would say it would be number 7 on my list.
Yeah. Okay.
And for the favorite track, I got Jesus Walks, a classic Kanye West song, where again, like he talks about his religion and his religious beliefs, but it has like the braggadocious style of Kanye. This has everything that a Kanye West song can offer all in one, you know? So this is my favorite Kanye West song. It was one of my favorites back in the day. It's still one of my favorites now, and that'd be my favorite from the College Dropout.
Yeah, definitely some people's favorite album, you know, but when Kanye has so much material, it's gonna be different for everybody, you know?
Let's take it away, Marvin. What do you got for number 7? For number... Put up a 5. There you go. Number 7.
Number 7, okay. My number 7 came from early Kanye days, and that's Late Registration. You know, another...
Alright, this video is done. I'm out of here.
Some people's favorite album out of Kanye's discography, but for me, since there's so many Kanye albums that I love, You know, just like I have to put a rank on all these other albums. You know, I have to put this one at number 7, and it's no disrespect to its own, because I was even going back between if I was listening to this album when it released, because I didn't. I had to listen to it afterwards, right?
Okay.
If I listened to this album when it released, would I rank this higher than College Dropout? You know, and I was trying to look for a reason not to put it higher, you know, but like it almost seemed like this album was better than College Dropout. You know, if I listened to it at the time, I might have said this is better than College Dropout, but seeing it as it is this date today, Late Registration is my number 7 on the list, with my favorite song from the album being Touch the Sky, you know, because how can you not like to touch the sky?
How
you know,
can you not like to touch the sky? Exactly.
It's a cheerful song, you know, it's an uplifting song, lots of pizzazz to the
If
song.
you're in one of those sad moods where you're listening to 808s and you want to just turn that mood around just like that, you put on Touch the Sky and you feel like you're the shit, you know?
This song could do that for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. You could feel like you're just shining and
feel like you're touching the sky.
Feel like you could touch the sky. You feel like you're on top of the world.
You feel like you're dating Pamela Anderson and you're about to get on this rocket ship to go fly and touch the sky. That's what he did in the music video.
It's a hilarious music video as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And so another reason why I picked this song is because when I was going back and listening back to this album, it's like I just wanted to hear that song again and again, like I was like I used to, you know. Every time
you got like the clean trumpets on that. You got like everything, man. You got a Lupe Fiasco feature, right?
We got a Lupe feature on that too, and at the time Lupe was actually one of my other favorite MCs too. So that always throws me back. There's no time that I put on this song and I don't feel happy.
Yeah.
I can touch the sky.
Oh, this can be like the thumbnail, you know?
Touch the sky.
Touching the sky. Okay.
Alright. What are we, like halfway through now?
We're halfway through. We're closer and closer. Alright. So for my number 6. Number 6.
Fell asleep there.
We actually have Kids See Ghosts from that same summer where he released Ye and that Nas album and Daytona and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We have Kids See Ghosts, which is the collaboration between Kanye and Kid Cudi. And this album, I like it for the same reasons that I like Ye, because it is so short and so coherent. Like, it has so much replay value. You can listen to it top to bottom.
Yeah.
But this album, compared to Ye, it sounds like so much more work went into this album, so much more thought went into this album, so much more care went into this album. This album is so well layered, it's so genre bending, you know, there's so many different styles and influences, and honestly, like, every track on this album, every track hits, you know?
It does, yeah.
Kanye and Cudi, they do no wrong on this, and it sounds like I'm ready to like marry this album, you know? It sounds like I'm so in love with this album, and I mean I am, but again, we're only at number 6 on our list, guys. There's still so much more to talk about. And this album is just so good, and it's only number 6 on my list. And Marvin hasn't even brought it up on his list yet, so I don't know where it falls on Marvin's list.
All right, but what can you say about your favorite song on the album?
Favorite track on this is, of course, Ghost Town Part 2, you know? You guys heard how much I love Ghost Town Part 1, but Ghost Town Part 2, I don't even know how to, like, compare those two, you know? This one, it has those like hard-hitting rock influences on it. It has the deep vocals of them singing I Feel Free, you know, and so much like reverb and like edits to it, and makes it sound like this grand epic kind of song, you know? It sounds like Kanye and Cudi are on top of a mountain, on top of like a hill, or on top of a castle, and they're fighting this like huge ass dragon, and they're like slicing it with a sword, you know? That's like the imagery that I get in my mind, you know? They're just engaged in this epic battle, and this is the soundtrack to that battle, you know?
Wow. I love that imagination, that vision in that album.
I feel free, you know? Everything they say on this track.
Yeah.
Ghost Town Part 2.
Yeah. For once, we're connected on one rank.
That's why...
On number 6. Yes,
number 6.
M.
That's why the 3M right
here.
here.
Yeah, because number 6 is also Kids See Ghosts in my rankings.
Yeah.
And as well as what you say, they both work together so well. You know, they collaborated before on this, and I think when they actually went in together on one album, it created something so wonderful, because it really is that Kid Cudi world that you're stepping into, but mixed with Kanye West. His like,
his influences, his like production style.
Yeah. My favorite song on the album was Fourth Dimension.
Ooh.
Because like that's what they put me in there. They put they put me in this wormhole that no one else is sounding like, you know, like
they bring you into this wormhole to see them fight that huge ass dragon.
Yeah.
You know?
And I love Kid Cudi and to see Kid Cudi in another primal state, I would say, was very impressive for me. And it's like it's not a long album either.
Yeah.
I almost wish it was longer. But
at the same time, you want to hear these same songs over and over.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
That's how good these songs are.
These songs are so good. I could play it over and over and over again for sure. Yeah, and these are tight races. Yeah, these are tight races now. This is 6. This is not a landslide win.
Marvin,
here.
Matt, number 6, Kid Seagull. So
Kid Seagull.
This is just these two artists at the top of their game, like bouncing off of each other so well, you know, to create this masterpiece.
Masterpiece.
All right, we are officially entering our top 5 Kanye West albums.
Top 5.
And we're gonna start off with Marvin over here. Marvin, what is your 5th favorite Kanye West album?
So at number 5, I have the collab album, Kanye West and Jay-Z, Watch the Throne.
Okay.
So you had this earlier.
I had this up at number 10.
Number 10, and I'm gonna rank this over, I would say, the duo of Cudi, because you know this might have to do a lot of right time, right place. Because I think at the time, this album was suitably called "Watch the Throne." Kanye West and Jay-Z, top of the rap game, top of the totem poles, coming in together with an album. The hype surrounded it, and I feel like when they actually came together, it did deliver what was expected. Hit off with No Church in the Wild, you know, as a starting track, giving you all of that, and then gave you like songs I was listening to like the rest of the summer and everything. Otis, and my favorite song, In Paris. Just anytime that song comes on, it's like I can get myself going into that old Kanye West, Jay-Z, you know, stardom. Yeah, I just remember listening to that album in the gym, playing basketball. People were playing that song, and there was always the hype up tracks. And so like it was at the time where it was released that puts this so high on my ranking. Right. My favorite track of Watch the Throne was In Paris. Yeah, I feel like that always can come on and can always, like, if you're in a crowd, get the crowd going. And
any party of any size, you know, it turns the party up. Any car ride, it makes it a lot of fun. Any setting, you know, that song works. If you're in the gym, if you're at a funeral, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, right, okay. If you're in Paris,
if you're in Paris, yes.
Yeah,
that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I still need to listen to that song, In Paris, you know.
We're kind of like the throne of music reviews, you know. This is only our 2nd video, but I mean, I think it's fair to say
that they better watch the throne.
That we're watching the throne, you know.
Yeah, we got the eye on the throne. This could be a Game of Thrones.
This could be a Game of Thrones. So viewers, leave in the comments who's the Kanye, who's the Jay-Z between the two of us, you know. Yeah. What do you think? Let us know. Number 5. Watch the Throne. Favorite track, Paris.
Paris. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So 5 going on to you.
5 on my end. Yeah. We have The Life of Pablo. This diverse album with so many different styles, so many different sounds, all amalgamated together to create The Life of Pablo. This album touches on so many different styles, and Kanye and all the features, all the extra guests that he brought on to this album, they all did a really good job. My favorite song from this album is Waves, and I think that song represents the whole album really well, you know? Because there's times where the album will get high, there's times where the album will get low, not even in like quality-wise, but in kind of like mood-wise, you know, and sound-wise. The album's just like going up and down and up and down, just like a wave, you know? Yeah. And when you hear the song Waves, you have that backing production on it, you have those like echoing sounds in the back, and it also sounds like you're on a beach. It sounds like you got waves coming at you, you know?
There is still great features on this album. Rihanna was still on this album, and I think
Rihanna on Famous. Oh my goodness,
Famous, and who was it? Not Future. Even though at first I remember thinking it was Future,
right.
But
Father
it's not.
Stretch My Hands Part 1 and Part 2. We got Designer.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
this album started off so well.
Yeah, this album started off
Ultra
well.
Light Beam, Father Stretch, you got Famous in there.
Like 2 and everything, yeah.
I like to say that this album is kind of like the life. It's called The Life of Pablo, but it's kind of the life of Kanye in a way, you know? Because it starts off with him channeling a lot of like his earlier sounds, you know, a lot of his like sample heavy, gospel heavy, Ultra Light Beam, Famous type tracks, you know, flows into more of like a colder, minimalistic 808s Yeezus style production with songs like Real Friends, with songs like Wolves, with songs like Frank's track, you know, with songs like Saint Pablo. This album, it kind of, again, it represents Kanye's career as a whole, and it really does a good job of capturing all the sounds in his career.
Looking back on these albums, it's interesting to figure out whether they get stapled to me as classics, because it also needs to be like set a long enough time, I think.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really
to return to
call
it
something a classic that's only been out for a few years, right? Like 20 years down the line, if you're watching this YouTube video in 20 years and all of these albums are considered classics.
Wow.
Even Jesus is King, even Ye, all of them. Yeah. I would not be surprised one bit, you know?
Exactly.
We'll almost be 40.
Yeah, well.
No, we
20
will,
years.
we will be past 40 in 20
years.
We're not that young. We're almost going to be 50 in 20 years.
Yeah.
So
we will be.
So look forward to 50-year-old Marvin and 50-year-old Matt re-reviewing these albums.
Yeah. So number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4, I have Yeezus on my list. So this is one of those albums that if we reviewed this when it came out, this probably would have been at the very bottom of my list.
Right.
For whatever reason, I was not about Yeezus. I'm all about this like sort of almost punk rock kind of sound.
Yeah.
But like at the time, the media was starting to take over his life. I didn't really agree with his persona of being a god or being looked at as a god.
Right.
Just looking at the music, you know, I put this on and I can feel his energy, feel his rage.
Right.
And I can almost, after listening to it, like at this time, I can see where his anger was pointed towards, which was pointing towards the fashion industry. You know, he was going all against the trends of...
I'd say the fashion industry and like the media as a whole, you know? And you know what, Marvin, I'm just going to like cut you off there because once again, we agree.
Oh,
we're on the same page here.
We're on the same page
Yeezus
here.
is also number 4 on my list. And what you were saying about when you first hear the album, you would kind of put it like lower on the list. I totally get that. This album is very like aggressive and very abrasive at first. It's hard to listen to at first because, you know, this was coming off the back of what, 808s and Heartbreak, right? No, sorry. This was coming off the back of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Right, yeah.
And then he shifts into this completely
different
sound.
Right.
You know, it doesn't sound like anything he's ever done.
Anything, yeah.
It's brand new. It's not what anyone ever expected. You know?
And
it just takes some time to like to listen to, and it takes some time to grow on you. But clearly, it has grown on both of us over the years because we both have it at number 4 on this list. Favorite track, Marvin?
My favorite track.
Favorite track from Yeezus
is the honorable mention from earlier is On Sight, because the way it just starts on site, like it just draws
the tone
your focus
and sets
in.
the mood really well.
Yeah, it definitely sets the mood really well, and like I guess that's what I love when like an album can just have that kind of a start. Right?
Exactly.
But like a lot of Kanye albums, you can listen to all the way through, but the way this one just like put me right in my seat, you know, just like forced me to listen, you know, puts you right there.
I like that this album, it has the same sound and same like dynamics all the way throughout.
Yeah.
But then he flips it on its head at the very end with Bound 2, you know? This is like this is more like classic soulful Kanye, you know, that he just caps off this strong, this abrasive, this electronic sounding album with, you know? And it sounds like perfectly in place. To me, in my opinion, this is like the perfect way to end this album, you know?
Like I felt like when I heard that, I was like, if Kanye wanted to, he could make a whole album sounding like Bound 2.
Right.
But instead he made Yeezus.
Exactly.
But like he gave you something different. He gave you Yeezus.
Exactly.
And so I appreciate that, Kanye. Thank you.
We appreciate you, Kanye.
Thank you, Kanye.
And then quickly, I just want to say my favorite track on this, as great as Bound 2 was, as great as On Sight is, my favorite track would have to be Blood on the Leaves.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that production is definitely the horns that you hear, you know? the horns that just keep blaring at you the entire song, and it just fits in so well with the mood. I love a really good bass line on any song, on any track, you know, and I think that really carried the song all the way throughout, you know. So Blood on the Leaves.
Blood on the Leaves, yeah.
We're going into our top 3 right now.
Whew, top 3. Are you ready for this?
I think we're ready for this.
All right.
Number 3 on my list, we have, and you know what, I think enough time has passed, it's fair to call this album a classic.
Right.
And the album that I'm talking about is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And you hear all the songs on this album and how layered all the production is and all the different sounds that he uses in this album and all the different features that he uses on this album.
Bunch of features on this album, and they all kill it. They're all in the right place, the right time.
There's even some that are only there for like a few seconds, you know? But he uses those features really well within the context of the song.
I love the different kind of instruments he comes in to play with this, you know, like a great outro of a song of Lost in the World.
Yeah.
You know, where like just starts in with just such a light vocal and opens up into like a visual.
It's kind of like a movie.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's a good way to describe this album. Where it just feels like he's taking you through this dark twisted journey.
Yeah.
You know. On that note, I would say my favorite track on that album is definitely Runaway. You know.
Yeah.
Where is it? There you go.
There it is, right there.
Runaway Ballerina right here. That's why I got this. You know, this isn't even my favorite Kanye West album. This is number 3 on the list. But Runaway, I would also put that in my top 3 Kanye West songs of all time. Every time I hear this song on my iPod, I don't have an iPod anymore. But that's how long I've been listening to Kanye and listening to Kanye.
Okay.
It's Kanye's music. I used to have all this shit on my old iPods.
Yeah.
But now, I was gonna say, every time I listen to the song on Spotify, shout out to Spotify, feel free to sponsor us, give us some like free subscriptions. Okay. Every time I listen to the song on Spotify, I remember he used to have like a shorter like radio edit version with only like 3 minutes or whatever. But the 9 minute and 52 seconds or however long it is, that version, that's a lot of time to commit to listening to one piece of music, you know? Almost 10 minutes, but I cannot get enough, you know? I listen to that every single time. Every time it comes on, like, I stop what I'm doing and I have to listen to that whole track front to back.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the different kind of like classical instruments he was able to use in like an actual hip hop setting.
Yeah.
You know, like at the time it's like amazing how anyone is able to do that, you know, like you don't really see that influence in hip hop often, and I don't think anyone else is really doing that. So that's
I haven't heard anything else like it. You know, the instrumentation on this album is just top notch. You know,
that's what makes like Kanye West so unique. Is like he's willing to go places artists aren't willing to go.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we said, I think it's fair to call this album a classic.
Yeah, I think so as well.
All right, Marvin. We're at number 3 on Marvin's list.
Yeah. So my number 3 is College Dropout. Ranking it all the way at number 3, just for I would staple it as classic myself. You know, like I feel like you even put this on shuffle, and all these songs are gonna be sample heavy, to say the least. You know, but like I feel like they're some of the best samples I've ever heard. I remember even listening to the version where his jaw wasn't fixed. Because now what you could hear is the fixed version where he went back and repeated all the rhymes with a fixed jaw, but on the original tape he has a broken jaw.
Right. So are you saying that's your favorite track from College Dropout?
Which track?
Through the Wire?
Through the Wire. Ooh. It's favorite song from this album is actually Spaceship.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love that song so much. I love it so much. At one point, I even made an AI mixtape to that song. Like, there's a song that I could put on in the gym, maybe. Another song that, like, for some reason, just made me want to get on my grind. You know, just wanted to get on my own spaceship and fly away.
The way that it sounds too, it has this kind of like coursing circular beat to it, you know, where it sounds like you're like a star orbiting in space or something, you know?
Right, yeah. That was my number 3, so we're gonna move on up another notch. Number 2.
We're at top 2.
Top 2 now. My number 2, hard decision for sure, but
I ended up going with
Graduation.
And we are on the same page.
We're on the same. We're all there. Okay,
We're all
right
there.
on.
Graduation is also my number 2 album.
Yeah, so
for a long time it used to be like my number 1, but again, as of this current recording, as of this timestamp, it's my number 2. Sorry, go ahead, Marvin.
Graduation, another album where the samples came in strong, but like he uses every bit to like push it to like its potential. I feel like, you know, like you never would think like a Daft Punk song would be with Kanye West, you know, but then it ends up being like arguably one of his greatest songs,
one of his greatest hits of his
one
whole
of his greatest
career,
hits of his whole career, exactly. And so
most people will hear that song now and they'll be like, "Who's Daft Punk?" You know, because they associate that song so much with Kanye West.
Yeah,
you know?
right, exactly. Big hits, which sometimes I shy away from saying like these are the greatest because I want to shed light to the ones that deserve respect. But I gotta say, Graduation at number 2. This deserves all my respect. Like you, this was once like my favorite Kanye album and everything, and I feel like throughout the beginning, which was my favorite opening song,
Good Morning,
you know, beautiful album cover, you know.
That album cover, it does a good job of capturing the mood of the album, you know. You got this bear shooting out of this cannon, which I guess is like shooting out of school and graduating into the real world, that kind of thing.
And all the elements that I liked from College Dropout came out stronger in Graduation. I feel
stronger
like.
in a much more like refined way.
My favorite song from this album was Homecoming.
Ooh, yeah.
It just hits. It hits.
It just hits. And you know what else hits? Another one of these, because I chose that as my favorite song as well, you know?
I think the storytelling in this song, just like marvelous.
My understanding of the song is that it is based on his relationship, not with with an ex, not with a girl, not with a partner, not with a friend or anything, but with the city of Chicago.
The city,
right? I mean, you know, because he sings about his hometown of Chicago and how much it means to him and how much it's influenced him and how much it's helped him grow.
Yeah.
And this is a track you said earlier, listening to Paris in Paris.
Yeah, okay.
I visited Chicago a few times, and this is definitely one of the tracks that I always listen to while I'm in the city, you know?
One of the last lines of the song, right? He says,
you ain't know by now, talking about Chi-Town.
Chi-Town, right, yeah, that's it.
He also has Chris Martin singing on that, right? The guy from Coldplay.
So he has great vocals on it.
Homecoming, Graduation.
It's just
Kanye West. I think from all the songs that we talked about and all the albums on our list, we've been mentioning our favorite songs from each album, but this is the one where I had the hardest time choosing my favorite song, you know? Because I kept on bouncing back and forth between Can't Tell Me Nothing is also really good.
Yeah, the lines in that,
Between Good Morning, between Stronger, between Champion, between I Wonder, between all of it, man.
I feel like this album is so good, and like even like songs like Barry Bonds, like it just shows you that
Barry
like
Bonds, Drunken Hot Girls, Flashing Lights. I think we're just naming the whole album. But like that's how good this album is, you know?
It just showed you like Kanye could do this all day long, you know, like he had probably songs at the bank, like he did
exactly.
this, you know, just Barry Bonds, like that song, because like it's about like hitting another one out of the park, and you know, like when
and that's exactly what he did.
That's what he's doing in the whole album, right? He's just hitting another one out of the park. So Number 2, Graduation.
Number 2, Graduation.
We've come to this point here. Yeah.
It's time to discuss our favorite Kanye West album.
Yeah.
At this point in time. Again, the review that we do 20 years from now, I'm sure it'll be different. But as of now, do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first.
As of now, Marvin's favorite Kanye West album.
My favorite Kanye West album is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This is, like we were saying, classic, no doubt. And I remember this coming out after 808s and Heartbreak, and basically proving any doubters wrong.
Yeah.
You know, because like people who didn't like, I liked 808s, but people who didn't like 808s were saying he wasn't going to be as good.
Right. He kind of like fell off a bit.
Kind of fell off, and even going with those classical sounds with the piano and the violin, like he showed you, he showed you that he even entered into another genre, or like you know, this is where he showed you that I can do it all.
Yeah.
You know, like I can do it all, and so there was songs like Runaway that just played on those pianos, and my favorite outro probably out of any of his albums, Lost in the World.
Yep.
You know, but my favorite song from this album, and I don't know if this is cheating because there's like a bunch of collabs on this song.
Okay.
And it's just because of the pure monster
Oof.
of this song,
Woo-hoo,
I guess.
yeah.
Like, the song Monster is what I'm
choice.
talking about. And
It's a good choice.
as much as I love Kanye, I wanted to give him like a song that's just on his own and everything. And but you know,
as
I
much
can't.
as we love Kanye and
Yeah.
as great as he did on this song,
Mhm.
I mean, we can't not talk about how Nicki stole the show, you know?
Yeah, okay. Nicki stole the show, and like that, she blew me away at the
Yeah.
time, and I have to give it to this song because like maybe it just says something about Kanye bringing out the best in people, but like Jay-Z as well, I think is on this, and everyone who came.
Rick Ross is on it.
Rick Ross is on this, and so just being able to put those artists together and then give you the product, I guess like it just shows how damn good he is at his job.
And I think that speaks to like his talent musically.
Yeah.
'Cause not only can he produce, not only can he rap, not only can he write, but like Marvin said, you know, he can also hear and bring out the best in other artists, you know, to make sure that they're putting their best foot forward, their best verses forward, and coming out the best that they can be. You know.
But your number one.
My number one album, my number one Kanye West album. You know, Marvin, I would love to tell you right now, but if you look at the time, I think I'm actually running late.
Oh, okay.
For something right now, so I'm gonna tell you another time.
Oh, okay, man. Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching the video.
We don't have to.
My number one Kanye album of all time is Late Registration.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you were a little late getting here.
I was a little late getting here,
Yeah.
you know? I was registering for something.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
And I was late for it.
Alright, yo, so we're gonna talk about your stories after, okay, man? We're just talk about the album.
We're here to talk about the album. We're here to talk about the music. Alita's getting sick and tired of our crap anyways. Our shit anyways. So, alright, so we're talking about Late Registration, my number one. Just to refresh your memory, just in case you didn't see any of the previous clips, or just in case you forgot.
Just in case you skipped to number one.
Just in case you skipped to number one.
Yeah.
Marvin had Dark Twisted Fantasy at number one, and we're here with me with Late Registration at number one. So I heard him say, and instantly back then when I first heard that, it got me hooked right away. You know, it made me a huge Kanye fan. So then I listened to this album, and right after I heard him say, is like you said, your stand up from earlier, is Touch the Sky. You know. Now I remember the day when I first heard Touch the Sky and when I first seen the music video. I kind of remember my house at the time. We were cleaning on a Saturday afternoon, so we turned the TV on just to have something to listen to, just to have something in the back while we cleaned, and we actually put it on BET.
Oh, okay.
we put it on BET, and then BET at the time they were premiering. They were showing the world debut or something.
Yeah, wow.
Of this brand new Kanye West song.
So you got to hear it right from the start.
I got to hear it right from the start, and this was Touch the Sky.
Yeah.
I was watching the video. I saw Pamela Anderson in there. I had such a huge crush on her back in the day, so of course I was watching the video.
Yeah,
but even without her, just hearing the song itself, you know, like you said earlier, you hear the song, and instantly you're in such a good mood. It brings you into a better place than you were a few minutes before hearing it.
Yeah, okay.
There's just something about Touch the Sky, you know.
Yeah.
Following Touch the Sky, oh my goodness, we got Gold Digger.
Yeah, true.
We haven't even talked about Gold Digger in this video yet,
Jamie
man.
Foxx.
We got that Jamie Foxx singing in that.
Yeah, okay.
Gold Digger. This is one of his more like poppy radio hit friendly kind of songs, but it's still such a good song.
Still such a funny song.
Understandably, why it's such a big hit on the radio. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Talking about a lot of Gold Diggers at that time, and then Jamie Foxx coming in on there. Yeah.
There's tracks like We Major on this. Yeah. Which is another one of his longer songs with lots of features, lots of production, lots of collaboration. But again, I will gladly listen to all 7 minutes, all 8 minutes of whatever this is, you know?
Yeah.
No hesitations there. And then towards the end of the album, it has a lot of my favorite songs as well. Like Gone, you have Diamonds of Sierra Leone, you know, that's also another classic Kanye track.
Yeah, it is a classic one.
And then we have, which I think is one of the most underrated Kanye songs, which is Late.
Yeah, okay.
That song I think is a really good closer to the album. You know, it does a really good job of capturing the whole mood of the album, and he's saying, you know, like, I'll be late for that. But just to sum it up, if someone has never heard like a Kanye West album before, if someone has never heard of Kanye West in general or any of his songs, I mean, of course, it's wise to recommend that they listen to the discography in order. But me personally, I would recommend Late Registration as like the first listen, you know, because this album, I think it's a good showing of the type of music Kanye makes, the type of person that Kanye is, the type of like witty lyricism that he has sometimes, his production style. This is it's a good showing, good representation of Kanye as an artist, like top to bottom. There's it shows his emotion and his vulnerability on tracks like Hey Mama, you know, on tracks like Roses, and yeah, so I would recommend Late Registration.
Wow, so 11 albums later, you have
11 albums later, Marvin. Here we are.
There you have it. Two crowns.
Yeah, exactly.
Late Registration, my beautiful dark twisted fantasy.
I don't know what else there is to say. We've said a lot.
You've said a lot.
We've talked a lot about the two different crowns here, Dark Twisted Fantasy and Late Registration. Again, you ask us this a year from now, you ask us this last year, you ask us this 20 years in the future. Yeah. It's very likely that this could change. It's very likely that maybe he'll release an album in this time frame that we haven't heard yet that will also kind of transcend its time and influence a whole new generation of artists, you know? It's entirely possible. That's entirely possible when you have an artist who is as talented and thoughtful and creative, you know. I think that's a key word. That's a key description of Kanye, you know. He's not afraid to take risks in his life, and especially with his music, you know, and I think that's what we all really appreciate about him.
Yeah, definitely appreciate all that about him. Definitely appreciate all 11 albums from Kanye West.
Yes.
And you never know what he can do next, you know, like
never know what he can do next.
Yeah, he might be president or something one day. Can you imagine a president who drops an album? A hip-hop album?
You know what? And I know we're trying to like avoid politics on this thing, but that'd be pretty sick though, you know?
But that's not just... all right.
Whether it be Kanye or not, anyone, you know?
Alright, anyone.
Anyways, you know what? We also appreciate you, the viewers at home. If you watch this whole thing, we appreciate you.
Thank you, yeah.
Thank you for sharing your time with us. Thank you for letting us fill your ear and fill your time and fill your day with our thoughts and our opinions on Kanye West.
Don't forget to give a thumbs up.
Yes, please do that. Anyways, this has been another video with Matt and with Marvin and with Alita. She's somewhere around here. Oh, here she is. There you go. Right on cue.
This criminal.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.